All right, so like I said, these invertebrates are in the mail, and we hopefully will get a chance to look at them next week. But the first one is called the Hydra.
Where do you get them shipped?
There's like science cat, like seeing that this bin back here. These are like catalogs where you can order, where teachers, science teachers order like all their materials and supplies for the year. So there's stuff there. No. So like if you here, you can see all the living things you could buy.
You have to buy them?
Yeah.
Or does
Well, I
the
don't
school
have to
buy
buy,
them?
the school buys them for. So,
You just-
that's kind of neat. So you can buy all sorts of things: living creatures, non-living, prepared, preserved things, things for dissection.
Does that have a reason to buy them or can you buy them?
Most things you could just buy if you wanted. If you just wanted some Hydra to look at home, you could probably just buy them there. They don't like check anything. I don't think.
So what would you do after we get bored of it?
Dump them in a pond. They're freshwater organisms, so they would live around here. You might find them in fresh water. And a Hydra is what's called a cnidarian. And we already talked about cnidarians. Tell me what else is a cnidarian that we learned about. Tatum? Jellyfish. And if you look here at this Hydra, what do you see that's similar? Gavin?
It has like its own light.
Oh, that's actually illuminated. It's not like glowing. It kind of looks like that. But you're right, some jellyfish do produce their own light. What else? Soraya?
It looks kind of clear.
Okay, kind of clear, kind of see-through. Yeah? What else? James?
It's like the tentacles are like moving.
Yeah, it's tentacles here, like a jellyfish has tentacles. And what is in a jellyfish tentacle that you have to be aware of? Kendall?
Electron. Things that shock you.
They don't actually give you an electrical shock, but they are stinging cells. And we call them, when we reviewed cnidarians, they're called nematocysts. They're these little things that sort of, when a prey species is nearby, they shoot into it, and they can paralyze it and eventually kill it so that the Hydra can eat. So the Hydra is a cnidarian, and like the other cnidarians, like a jellyfish, okay, like a sea anemone, it has radial symmetry. It's arranged in a circular pattern. So if you look at this Hydra, you can see there's a central area with a stalk, and then these tentacles that are radiating out in a circular pattern. So that's radial symmetry if you were looking at it from above. And Hydra just have like some other simple animals. They have only one body opening for food coming in and waste going out. So their body is just like sort of a hollow sac with one opening at the top and the tentacles surrounding it. Okay? So when the Hydra is going to eat, it captures, very, very small animals. Its tentacles sting them with those nematocysts. And then its tentacles are used to sort of bring in the prey and put it into its body through that one opening. In that one opening, it will digest whatever it ate, break it down, absorb the nutrients, and then anything that's not digested, any waste, comes back out of that same opening. And so that's what it looks like under a microscope. This video I'll show you, we also have Daphnia on order. You saw the Daphnia also when we looked at Protus. They came by accident. Those are those little water fleas. They're sort of see-through. You can see their heart beating inside of them. They swim around the water. This little video here shows, this was just taken by a teacher in his classroom, and it was through the microscope. You can see the field of view. And you'll see here in a minute the Hydra, and it's trying to capture and eat a Daphnia. And so,
Wait, did you look at those things that you could see the heart
yeah, oh no, we looked at them back when we were looking at the other Protus. So let me just show you this little video clip for now. So here's the Hydra, and obviously you see a Daphnia just kind of ran into its tentacles. And so the Hydra is using those tentacles. Its nematocysts are now shooting into the Daphnia to sort of immobilize it so that this Hydra can then eat it. And what it's trying to do is to grab that Daphnia and put it inside of its if its body opening, which is right in the middle of all the tentacles. Now, it's not easy. The Daphnia is pretty quick. This is a relatively small Hydra, but this Hydra could fit that whole Daphnia inside of it. I'll try and find later on, after you guys work on your review, there are videos in which the Hydra actually consumes the whole Daphnia, but you'll see if you watch this one, this Hydra does not quite do that. Kendall, you have a question?
Is the Hydra like microscopic?
No, it's very small, but not microscopic. Like when we get them, they'll be in like one of those clear jars, and you can see a bunch of them. They're a few millimeters long only, though, so they're not quite microscopic, but we would use a microscope to see them because you want them obviously enlarged.
Is this under a microscope?
Yeah, this is under a microscope. This is most likely under low power.
Is it like sped up?
No, it's not sped up at all, this video.
How big are when they're alive?
Yeah, we should be able to see them when they're alive.
How big are
Just a couple millimeters, like not big at all. But you could still see, like if you look in the jar, you'll be able to see the Hydra. So here he escaped. That Daphnia escaped and wasn't eaten.
Does it die from like the
Yeah, it could, and also obviously once it's digested. The Hydra can reproduce like a lot of simpler animals, either sexually or asexually. And the way that the Hydra reproduces asexually is through this process called budding. And in budding, basically, a small Hydra starts to grow out of a patch of cells on the side of the adult Hydra. And that's what you see here. There's a new Hydra, just starts growing out of the side of the adult, grows larger, and then eventually it breaks off and kind of floats away, and it becomes its own Hydra somewhere else. So obviously that's asexual reproduction. There was no combining of genetic material. It just made a copy of itself. But Hydra also can reproduce sexually. Okay, Hydra have reproductive organs. And Hydra actually, in a single Hydra, they have both the male and the female reproductive organs. So the term for that is called hermaphroditic. Okay? They are hermaphroditic animals. So they have both male and female reproductive organs. They can produce both sperm and egg cells, but they still can reproduce sexually with another Hydra. So sperm cells from one Hydra can fertilize eggs of another Hydra and vice versa. So they still exchange genetic material in sexual reproduction, so there's still variation introduced when these Hydra do reproduce. Daphnia, again, that's the one we were just talking about. The Daphnia has, do you know what type of organism it is? What group it would be in? If I tell you it has an exoskeleton, it's an arthropod. It's actually a crustacean. It's tiny little crustacean related to things like a crab or a crayfish or something, but it's really small. It has sort of a see-through exoskeleton, okay? And you could see some of its organs inside of it. You could see its heart beating. It swims using its little appendages, okay? Swims through the water. So that's the Daphnia that we hopefully will be seeing when we look at the Hydra. And if we're lucky, we'll see a Hydra eat a Daphnia. Soraya?
When you look at them, they just like all look kind of the same.
Yeah, they don't look much different from each other. You're right.
Wait, are those things on the Hydra like its mouth?
The thing in the middle of all the tentacles is the mouth.
So I think it's tongue.
Yeah, between all of its tentacles.
Oh.
Like, its mouth is... Where'd it go? Its mouth is like in the middle of these. That's its mouth, right in the middle. So it puts the food in there, and then the waste comes out of that same opening. All right. So that's all we needed for our notes.